Where my people pleasers at? This episode of My Villain Era is for you. Hey guys, I'm Victoria. I'm your host, and I'm also your mentor for this next phase of your life. This could be your second act. This could be 1.5. I am your mentor, and I am here for it. So today we're going to talk about people pleasers. So I talk about people pleasers a lot actually on my Instagram, because what I found is that people who are they're just starting to choose themselves, a lot of times these people are either reformed people pleasers or you are a people pleaser and you want to stop doing that. So when I say this to you, it's with all the love in my heart. People pleasers, you are actually already the villain. Okay. So my villain era, this whole podcast is about saying no, setting boundaries, making sure you do the things you actually want to do, not feeling pressured into it by family or work or societal expectations or whatever. Doing what you want to do, living life your way. That's what I want for you. Okay. So let's talk about people pleasers for a hot second. So people pleasers, you are doing everything for everybody else. And here's the thing I didn't know about people pleasing. If I have people who expect me to kiss the ring, to say yes when I mean no, to do everything for them, I'm actually giving my energy to them. I'm actually giving them my life force energy that I could be using to do something for me. I was actually just talking with a friend about this morning, that when you have a lot of, let's say, mental chatter, okay, I used to have a lot of mental chatter about how, I need to do this or I need to do that or what will this person think of me and It's exhausting. And especially when you have a lot of mental chatter around other people. Oh, I can't say this around dad. Aunt Sally's going to make this comment. Oh, my boss is going to say this. It is exhausting. You're trying to reach into the future and predict what's going to happen. This is exhausting, right? So why do people pleasers do this? Why do people pleasers suck up, kiss the ring, do all these things for other people to make them happy? Well, it has to do with our training and our programming as people. So we are in different systems. We're in a family system, we're in a work system, we're in a society system, So we're in a number of different systems right now. And the systems tell us to behave a certain way. So if I were someone who was a housewife in the 1950s, I would be in a system that would tell me I cannot play loud music and wear a short skirt and, sunbathe naked in the backyard or whatever. Because the system says, no, that's not allowed. So that's the first thing, is I want to acknowledge that you're in some sort of system. So when we're people pleasing, the expectations are that whoever I'm trying to get the love, affection, attention, recognition, maybe just acknowledgement from, they come first. That's the system when you're a people pleaser. So let's talk about energy for a second. Everyone has energy. We are all made up of energy. We're like magnets. So think about it this way. Did you ever know a couple? There was this woman and she, oh my gosh, she just like all about this man. And she's loved this man and loved this man and loved this man. Maybe he was like, I don't want that. And maybe he was like, people say playing hard to get, which I always think means like, I don't really like you, but okay. So has her at arm's length, right? And he's like, I'm not going to ask her out. And then she decides that she's not interested in him. Boom. Hey, knock, knock, knock. Let's go out. I finally like you. It's a push-pull of energy, right? That's why people end up in these relationships and they're like, well, what's the deal? When I finally lose interest, they're interested in me. It's because they didn't like your pick-me energy. At an energetic level, they could feel your desperation is basically it. So why is this important to keep in mind? I'm going to say this with all of the love that I have in my heart. So people pleasers, you will never get what you want from the person you are people pleasing to. You will never get it. Love, attention, affection, recognition, the promotion, the money, whatever. You will never get it or if you get it, it doesn't feel good. Why doesn't it feel good? Because you have sacrificed a piece of your soul to get it. That's why. And it took me a long time to understand this because there's someone in my life I have a complicated relationship with. And I have felt, and if we're being honest here, because it's just you and me, friend, right? Not like people listen to this. If we're being honest here, I have felt like if they just see me, if they would just see me, then I would feel this warm fuzzy. If they would just see me, really see me and recognize me for who I am, they've never seen me and they probably won't ever see me. So I think I've talked in this podcast about timelines. So if you have kids, maybe you've seen Into the Spider-Verse where there's all these different timelines with different Spider-Mans and da-da-da. And I think of it like this. The timeline that I'm on right now with wanting this person to see me. Let's say I'm okay with being a whole person, being my own person who doesn't need to be a people pleaser. She may not even be on the same timeline. So it's so whack to think about it. So whatever I actually want to happen is continuing this push-pull of energy and it will not happen. So how do you get out of this? So before I talk about how we get out of this people-pleasing trap, I want to share with you a comment that I got on social media. So I was doing this video talking about how one of the most important things you need to do if you're a people pleaser is forgive the version of you that accepted having their boundaries stomped all over. The person of you that accepted that behavior from the person who's never going to give you the thing that you want to have. Yeah, you need to forgive them for accepting this bad behavior, for allowing someone to treat you like this. And let me tell you, I had a boss. She was horrible. And she used to yell and scream at everybody. I even took her to HR. Like, it's just like, it was horrible. Was she ever going to see me as a person who stayed late, as a person who would turn on her computer after her baby went to bed, as the person who kept trying, as a person who would try, oh, maybe if I have different colors on my chart. No, she did not care. She was never going to see me as a valuable employee because she didn't care. So what is the resolution for this? I hate when you go on a podcast and they complain, and there's no resolution. What is the resolution? Babe, the resolution is you finally living for you stopping this behavior. Because right now, if you're a people pleaser, you live for somebody else. You live for their acceptance, validation, love, blah, 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 all those things that we talked about. You're living for that. You're making all of your life choices based upon that. Like, for example, it can go back to, like, let's say a boss. Let's say you wear a suit every day, even though you aren't comfortable wearing a suit, but you wear a suit every day thinking that maybe you'll get a promotion. You wear a suit every day thinking, if I look the part, they'll promote me. Like, let's ignore the fact that, maybe you've been drooling all over your boss trying to oh, I'll take that new project, right? Again, that's the pick me energy. So you doing more is never going to be the answer. The answer is finally living for you. The answer is choosing yourself. What do I mean by choosing yourself? Start by what do you really want to do? Now, I had I don't want to say it's not a midlife crisis. I don't even know what it was. It was like a mental reckoning of the fact that I have been in this system playing a part for most of my life. Went to business school, got a graduate degree, working in the corporate field. Doesn't that make me happy? No, it actually made me extremely unhappy and miserable. And yeah, you can ask my husband about that. And what did I actually want instead? I wanted to stay home all day with my son. I wanted to be creative and do different projects. I wanted to have a different life. I wanted to make different life choices. I wanted to live in a different way. Okay. But sometimes when you're so far off the path, you can't even see. You're like, how do I even get to the path? I have no idea. So what I want you to do is start to live for you. What does this look like? What do you like? Okay. And I've talked about this before where I woke up one day and had no idea what I even liked in life. Then start with what you do. Do you enjoy cooking? Cook more. Lean into that. Do you enjoy painting, being creative? Maybe you enjoy purchasing things from thrift stores. Okay, well then you go to estate sales. You know what I'm saying? This sounds super simplistic, and you're probably like, Victoria, what does painting or cooking more have to do with my life? It's you need more joy in your life. You have been acting like a freaking robot, okay? And when I say that, it's because we're checking all these things off the box. Job, check. Car, check. House, check. Did that make you happy? No. Okay. So if you're a people pleaser, you probably look the part. You probably talk the part. You probably do the things. You probably are bend over backwards for other people, and it still doesn't make you happy. What is going to make you happy? Probably being around people who love you. Probably being at a job that recognizes you. Probably being able to wear what you want, probably being able to express yourself, but you can only answer that question to what's going to make you happy. So the only way you know what's going to make you happy is the you now, not the you 10 years ago. The you now needs to go on a little self or exploration field trip and figure out what will make you happy. And this took me a couple of years to figure out what was going to make me happy. And I remember when I first quit my corporate job and then decided to start a business. And again, I was living by I have a checklist and I'm going to do because I'm good at and it didn't make me happy. Why didn't it make me happy? Because I wasn't leading from my heart. Nothing in my soul spoke to me about like having a consulting business. When you are able to tap in to you, into your inner guidance, into your soul, what ends up happening is you're like, there's my spark. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, if you're like, I don't know. First of all, you do know. But secondly, I'm going to host a workshop in a couple weeks in the fall called You Already Know Your Next Step. It's because you do. You already do know your next step. But guess what? The next step is not easy. The next step is hard or difficult, or maybe it's outside the box versus what everyone else in your life is doing. Maybe not everybody gets it. Maybe it's going to be financially hard for you to get there. Maybe whatever. Okay. But you know. So choosing yourself is that first step to not being a people pleaser. But then also, you gotta do some hard stuff. You have to set boundaries. You have to say no. When you do this, this is when your villain era starts, right? Because you will be labeled the villain. Why? You have been the nice person, the people pleaser. You know, she's so amenable. She's so this, she's so that. You're no longer that person. You're the person that lives for you, right? So living for you may mean, hey, I want to do dinner at home on Friday and I don't want to go out and go to your friend group thing. Or I want to do this. I don't want to do, you know what I mean? So you're going to start rocking the boat. So expect that people will have a reaction to you living your life for you, to you leaning into what you want to do. And even if it has nothing to do with them, here's the funniest part. Even if it has nothing to do with them, and it doesn't make sense that they would be unhappy, like a good friend or something like that, what you're doing is you're improving yourself. By you improving yourself, you're reminding other people who have been ignoring improving themselves, who have been putting it off. What you are doing is you're saying, hey, look what I'm doing. What are you doing? Even if you're actually not saying that, that's what they pick up on. Is emotionally and energetically, it's like a mirror saying, hey, you should have been doing this all along. So expect that some people are going to be upset with you and expect that you are the bad guy. And actually, in my case, I knew I was a bad guy. I didn't know to what extent. And what I will say about that is this is where you have to have people around you who are like, nah, girl, you're rad. You have to have people around you who are like, you are an amazing human being. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. And if you don't have those people, first of all, you need to get some people like that in your life. But secondly, then you need to have a sense of self so deep that it doesn't matter what they say next, because some people will gaslight you. Oh, you're an awful person to say that. Some people will just make you feel bad for saying no. That's how it goes. And the concept of the people pleaser is so interesting to me. So I think I told you guys I posted this video of me talking about people pleasers on the internet. And I said that one of the most important things that you can do is forgive the part of you who put up with that crap in the first place. And someone messaged me and she goes, well, what about love and forgiveness to others? You see my face? So the people who were benefiting from you losing yourself, from you agreeing to whatever, we need to be more concerned about them first. Hello, people pleaser. No, when you go through this transformation and decide to live for you, no. What you're going to do is, remember, like in fishing, they say catch and release. This is like bless and release. Okay. Love you from afar. Bye-bye. Okay. And you can love someone at arm's length. You really can. But that doesn't mean that you have to lose yourself every time they're around. So bless and release, just like fishing. So yeah, and I thought that comment was so interesting because it was so indicative of people who have been programmed, right, by the system that they're in, that they can't do anything. They can't even forgive themselves first. They have to think of other people first. My God, girl, drop the rope. Okay. Stop. And we got to stop living in these systems where we think that we can't put ourselves first. And people pleasing has only been one thing that has been something that's been really hard for me to get over, but it's probably the thing that I talk the most about. Why? Because so many people talk to me about people pleasing and about this whole idea of being the villain. You're the villain because you are no longer pliable. You are no longer manipulatable. And that's what I want to be. I'd rather be no longer manipulatable than someone who is manipulatable. I'd rather be that person who says no and who pushes back and who lives by their own convictions rather than goes along with what everybody else is doing. So I wanted to share this with you today because there's a couple things that are really important to know about people pleasers. One, it's probably me and you listening to this right now who are people pleasers. But first of all, there's a whole behavioral aspect. Then there's an energetic aspect with that push-pull energy that you have going on. And guess what? You don't have to live in that. Okay. Instead of dealing with the push-pull, you could just be happy with who you are and find other people who are happy with who they are and who want to support you and love you on your path. Woo, doesn't that feel good to say, right? That is what I want. I don't want people who are like, I only want you around when. No, that's gross. So with people pleasers, we have that whole energy thing and we have on the outside what's happening. On the inside, you forgiving you and you leaning into you trusting you is one of the most important things you can do. If you are interested in my workshop coming up called You Already Know the Next Step, then comment below. I'll give you info on it. It's coming up here in the fall. So that's it for me today. I wanted to share with you. This started out with me sharing with you about this comment, and I just kind of grew from there because, yeah, the people pleaser is the villain. We are the bad guy. The difference is the people pleaser was probably already the scapegoat. They were probably already the black sheep, but we were so busy looking for that love, attention, validation, acceptance, whatever from other people. We just didn't recognize it. So when they call you the bad guy, they see in you the changes that you've made, and it's okay. It's okay. I want you to think of it as you have made steps to love yourself more than you loved yourself yesterday. So, all right, friends, that is it for me. I will see you on the next episode. Make sure you push all the buttons, subscribe, share, whatever, and share this with a friend who is a people pleaser. And also make sure if you're going to connect with me on Instagram. I'll be posting more information on the workshop coming up this fall. All right, guys, I love you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.